Every Tuesday, it's the Deep Dive with Jimmy Vaccaro, bookmaker for over 40 years. If you're ever in Vegas, check him out at the Southpoint. Give him a follow on Twitter at Jimmy Vaccaro. Last week on the radio, you told me, man, watch out for the teaser liability. You were hoping just one of the road teams could come through. How bad was it for you?
Well, that's part of the racket, pal. You just deal with what you got. You lose, you pay, and you win, you keep the money. Obviously, the teasers didn't help one particular bit. We lost on them. We lost on the parlay cards. But actually, the overall thing, we had a lot of late money on the 12.5 with the Dolphins. That's how high we had to go with the game, almost ready to go to 13. Remember, they came up with 9.5. And in that scenario, everybody was on the Steelers. So it kept pushing and pushing and pushing. So naturally, you just keep trying to salvage something. So to 12.5, we got what I would consider a very, very good amount of money. And the savior late, actually, even though we lost the game, was there was a lot of straight money on the Giants. It looked early on we had a decent chance, maybe A, to cover the point spread, and B, maybe even win the football game. But that's the way it was. So, yes, teasers were a loser, but we're going to take them again this week. So, come on, line up. I never tell anybody, not to bet something that's going good because it's tough to win. But when it's going your way, my friend, that's when you got to step up and try to win some money.
Yeah. Also, Pittsburgh and Seattle staying under helped you.
Okay, so obviously what you do, Paul, is like you save money because every time it comes with the under, you know that there's about 20% more on the parlays that are involved in the over there. So we actually played very well through some of the totals in the situation. But yeah, it was a blanket week, but we'll go on. And all I do, my friend, after 40-some years is just keep going forward. That's all you can do. Just keep writing tickets. And the people, the other side of it, as we've talked about incessantly now, Mr. Howard, is like, it's absolutely incredible, the entertainment value. It's absolutely incredible, the number of people come out. It's absolutely incredible. They sit and stay there for 10 or 12 hours a day. But after watching some of these games, you can't blame them for not sticking around.
Can you compare the handle college football semifinals to an NFL playoff game?
Yeah, it's getting very close, I can tell you that. Naturally, still not going to overcome the NFL, but if you collectively put everything together, then I would say that, you're going to be there. We're going to be right there with any NFL game we have. Now, obviously, there are situations that incur more play. The Lions weren't like a marquee team in this thing. The Dolphins really didn't help. But in this week's game, you're having what you would consider some games it's just going to go through the roof. I mean, how much more could you ask for with the Packers and the Cowboys, a new kid on the block, and Aaron Rodgers going back 2 short months ago telling everybody to relax, and we'll see what happens from here. And naturally, anytime the Patriots are in there, you're going to draw more attention. We understand it's a big point spread on the Patriots, but what are you going to do? The matchups now are through the roof, especially of the 2 games that I talked about.
Yeah. Where do you think that New England number goes off at? Could that get over 17?
I don't think the smarts will let it go over 17 because you're still saying to yourself when you're locked in the closet, I'm getting 17 points. I understand that Osweiler is what he is, but the other side of the coin is, Osweiler, they obviously contained him. What I mean by that, I mean his own team contained him. Once they got the lead against the kid who obviously had trouble, finding the field there, the youngster from Oakland, they just absolutely just handed the ball off, and just wasted time. I don't blame him. But Brian said, we're just going to get out of here with the win. So they obviously didn't show anything. But they're going to have to show something this weekend. So 17, I think, is still probably it'll get there. But I think Sunday we'll get a lot of, when that game is, we'll get a lot of playback on that game because it is an NFL team. And call it like it is also. It's a pretty good defensive team for the Houston team. So I would imagine 17 will be as high as you would see it. And I would imagine they would gulp that up, especially come next week.
A record handle for the Super Bowl still in play. You can get New England, Dallas, Pittsburgh, or Dallas. I'm right with you there. I hope it happens, one of those matchups. Are you in trouble with any potential futures?
No, we're actually in good shape. It's only because we have learned the lesson on putting these things up, right after the Super Bowl ends and they go to next year. You'd be amazed how much business you can write. We are not a very, obviously we consider ourselves a very good sports book. We're surely not in line with the stations and William Hill's and the MGM because they have so many properties. But for us, at the Southpoint and the Rampart, we wrote over $1 million in futures just to win the Super Bowl. That's an incredible number if you look at it. So you can only guess what the other places did. And anytime you keep writing tickets, Paulie, 10, 20, 30, 40, day after day from now until next September, if you manage it right, you should be in good shape. We had Oakland was probably our biggest loser. I mean, it would be substantial. It probably been around 100,000. But right now, we're actually in good shape. We need some of the favorites to get there. Patriots would be a big pickup, and so would the Steelers. So, we're in good shape. But it took us 30 years to find a lesson on the other people on the other side of the counter, which is smarter than us, and gave us the incentive to put these things up way early in the season.
All right, I hope these games are close this weekend. They should be. We'll talk to you next week with the championship matchups. Thanks for 5 great minutes, sir.
Stay well, my friend.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts. Shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.